Cause how you walking with a lion got me feeling like Micah. I've been known to wear the team on my back like a biker. Shorty won't be with a star, but you lucky if I invite you. We can take it to the next spot. They yelling like Prescott. Everybody like, there ain't no breaks, no rest stop. We tryna get your head chopped. The whole club yelling. Everybody.
Here we go. Here we go. Victory Formation Podcast, Season 1, Episode 22. We're here in May. OTAs just started. Eddie, it's our favorite time of the year. Tell the people how you feel.
So, welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're feeling good. It's getting closer and closer to football. You can kind of smell it in the air. The grass is cut. They're out there with the cleats just hitting the grass for the first time.
Pigskin.
Nice.
It's not super hot yet. Yeah, man, it's good. It's a good time to play football right now. Spring weather.
Really.
OTAs, man.
Everybody's 0-0 right now. Everybody's locked in. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Every single
right
team.
Now, we're the best team in the league. But
we're the best team in Dallas right now. I'll tell you that. Oh,
so
we'll talk about that later.
You know what? Put a pin in that. We'll get to that later. So, what kind of news you got for us? What you been hearing on the wire, on the talk shows, the blogs?
It's been a slow couple, week or so, but with OTAs starting, the voluntary part of the OTAs started. We want to make sure that everybody's understanding that these are voluntary times right now.
Yeah.
But we had our first open media day today, so that the media was actually able to go in and kind of check out.
Oh yeah.
What's going on. And there was some, with everybody focusing on two players that aren't there, there were quite a bit of players that weren't there today that weren't on the news. You know that, right?
A few dozen players, yeah.
Okay, so CD was out, Micah was out, we knew that. Zach Martin was out, undisclosed. DeMarcus Lawrence was out, undisclosed. Diggs, obviously we understand. I mean, it's undisclosed, he was out, but we know that he's still recovering.
He's not going to do OTAs. He might be ready for a training camp, but
yeah, Mozzie's out. He was out. Luke Schoonmaker, another big news today was we just found out that Schoonmaker's hurt.
He's one of your favorites. I know that made you happy.
Did you see that meme that I made today?
Yeah, man.
I said if Dallas Cowboys had a country album, the album would be named what did I say? Wasted Seconds.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Seconds, and it was all pictures of all the guys that we've drafted in the second round. But Schoonmaker, he was hurt again, so he's out. Overshawn was out. O'Diggy was out. John Stevens still recovering, and then we got David Durden. He was recovering. So there's quite a bit of people out of OTAs so far. So as it picks up in the next couple of days and weeks, then we'll see some of these guys get back in there.
I think so too. I think we'll be all right. This is the we only doing healthy people right now. If you're even a little bit hurt, you got a hangnail. Ingrown hair on your chest, you're going to sit out right now. Because like a lot of stuff they're doing, of course, they're going through the motions, but it's more installation of packages. It's more mental stuff. So as long as you're there to see the mental part, it should be good. Except for the ones that are stars. Yeah.
For everybody that played, you remember the very beginning of practices when you first start. It was like, they're handing out the gear. You're getting used to like where you're going to be in the stretching lines, and it's all brand new stuff that you're learning. These guys, these rookies and these guys that are just getting to the Cowboys, they got handed a playbook that is like this thick, and it's like tabs that they need to feel. They need to know 25. They need to like memorize 25 pages of what's going to happen in the next practice. Like it's crazy stuff like that. It's tough, and we don't even think about that. We think that these guys are just all throwing on some pads and going out there and playing a game of football. It's a friggin' business.
And what's crazy is they actually simplified it a lot recently. Back in the 90s, the late 90s, those plays used to be ridiculously long. Like they were like
John Gruden's.
Like now,
it was like
now we know about John Gruden's. So yeah, like now they have Spider Y2 Banana, but before it would be a whole long sentence, and that's why they always had that thing that the quarterback had to be the smartest player on the team because he had to remember. Because if you're a wide receiver and you hear that long thing, it's always one part that just pertains to you. So as long as you hear that part, you're good. But the quarterback has to say the whole thing, so the O line knows what to do, wide receiver knows what to do, running back knows what to do, the protection, the tight end knows. So he has to give everybody the instructions in that long play call. But then now they simplified it. Plus, they have multiple calls. They always go to the line with 2 calls. Most teams do this now with the kill.
But they also have somebody in his ear right before 15 seconds in the play clock. But could you imagine that? You're trying to get that sentence out and listening. You're listening. Now you have somebody that's barking in your ear, talking as well. It would be so hard to try and concentrate and try to think, and then everybody in the huddles, maybe somebody is I'm not getting the ball, is clapping his hands at you. Like, bro, how hard is this? You also got coaches yelling from the sidelines. It's
and then you got the fans, the teams yelling in your face all the time.
Oh, I know.
Trying to create confusion. Like, I don't know how they do it.
The linebackers looking at you. Oh man, what movie was that? Where he's Alvin Mack. He's yelling at the quarterback. The program. He's like, he's yelling at the running back. He's like, motherfucker. I remember
that's one of my favorite scenes. But that's one of my favorite scenes in any sports movie.
He's like, what? I don't know your mama.
When they were in the film room, and the guy was reading him his instructions. He's like, when the tight end does, what do you do this? I'll punch his girlfriend.
Hit him so hard his girlfriend feels it.
Yeah, like.
Oh, that's a great part.
So hard his mama dies.
That's a good correlation to what we're just talking about. Like if you think about it, like in that movie, that guy was dumb as the character was dumb as rocks when it came to like his classes, right? He wouldn't pay attention to shit. But then as soon as he got into that room in the tape room, and the coaches are like, "Hey, what do you do?" I mean, he fired that off like it was nothing. I mean, he knew everybody's job. He knew what everybody needed to do. I mean, people's brains work differently.
Yeah, you call that being an idiot savant.
Maybe, or he's the smartest guy in that room. So a couple other things that kind of stuck out. Obviously, wide receiver 3 race is off to we got to work with what we got kind of thing. But Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Burks have actually stepped up pretty big in these last couple practices, I guess, and. Dak Prescott is finding his. I don't know how to what the word I'm looking for. He's looking for somebody to be there all the time, and he doesn't have to worry about it. Right? That's what that third wide receiver needs to be. So he just needs to trust one of these guys. Whether I don't care if it's Cavante, because it looks like Cavante today was heavily targeted as well. So I don't know if it's just because we just don't have anybody there and we're playing with what we got. But I mean, your boy Lance was looking good, and he found a couple guys right off the bat. It looks like him and the rookie are
the rookies. That one undrafted rookie they got.
Well, Crooms, they're saying that him and Crooms were looking pretty good, but the receiver that we drafted, what's his name?
Oh yeah.
Him and Lance were kind of hooking up a lot today, and that makes sense because you're going to be working with the guys that you're always in line with, right? So that second team is always going to be with like the second team receivers. So you get like a relationship building. So when they come in,
Flournoy was his name. Yeah,
he's looking pretty good, man. I don't want to.
I like it, but this is always the season for optimism. Because, everybody looks great in OTAs. Everybody looks good in training camp.
Yep.
And then once they start doing the preseason games, that's when it's like, man, all the articles said this guy was killing it in OTAs or training camp. Now we're in a preseason game and he can't get open. He can't make a catch. So, like, preseason is when I start seeing who's doing what, who's legit.
Well, these guys aren't even hitting yet. Nobody has pads on.
Exactly. So I'm like,
this is all for a show, so it don't really matter.
It favors the offense, because some cover corners are the best because they are really good at jamming, sticking, and they can't do most of that, or they're really good for the first 5 seconds of a route.
Yeah.
But of course, quarterbacks have to stand back there all day, and you can juke. Nobody can cover that long. So I don't care who the best cornerback is. If you leave them out there for 6-7 seconds, they're going to get the most terrible wide receiver is going to get open. So
Oh yeah,
it's one of those things.
and these guys know each other so well too that they get matched up with each other. You're in line, and CD's coming up. CD's move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to look at your first, second, or third move because I know you're going to try and beat me on that fourth one. These guys know each other so well.
Yeah,
they're brothers,
and they practice the same plays over and over. Like if they run a play, they don't run another play. They usually run the same play in practice over and over. So it's like they get to see, oh, I know what's coming. So it's being ready for it type thing.
Another thing that was noticeable was it looks like Zimmer is. I mean, most of the time when he's running his defense, he runs it with 2 linebackers most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's been working that third linebacker in a lot late in these packages.
3 linebackers.
So yeah, with Damone Clark and Eric Kendricks, obviously, but it looks like he's working in Liafu as well. And what's exciting to me is I saw that Demarvion Overshawn came in about
Overshawn.
20 pounds heavier than he was last year, all muscle.
And they said it's all muscle. Yeah, I saw that. So what week you think he's going to send Clark to the bench?
I don't know. I mean, if we need all those 3 guys.
What's your prediction?
You mean?
Well, I think Kendricks and Liafu, whatever his name is, I think those 2 are going to get a lot of playing time. I think it's going to be between Overshawn and Clark as to who is getting swapped out, unless somebody gets hurt, of course. But so that's why I'm thinking.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Either Clark's going to be there or Overshawn's going to be there. So, but I think they're going to start Clark off because coming back from the injury. So I'm like, what week you think they're finally realize? Yeah, Overshawn's the guy. So
I think
by week 4.
I think through the preseason we'll know.
Oh, okay. Sooner than
that's
that.
what I'm
Okay,
thinking,
before
because with the preseason you're really putting packages in there, not just seeing how people are playing, but you got to see how people are playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We might see Eric Kendricks go in there and work with DeMarco Clark like they are past teammates that have been playing together for 40 years. They couldn't click. So we got to see how everybody's working together, especially with the new-ish D line and how that's going to work. These linebackers aren't going to have to be fending off a lot of guards and stuff and centers that are coming at them if we're able to have the D line that we really are looking for.
The only reason I said probably week 4 is only because coming off injury with him, I think it's going to be one of those things where he has to trust his knee, start playing without thinking to where it plays. Players play best when they're doing it all off instinct without thinking where I need to be, where I need to go. And I think with young players in the beginning, coming off an injury like that, it takes them a while before they start trusting themselves to just go off instinct. So that's why I said probably in the first 4 games or so is to where finally he'd be like, okay, now it's starting to click. He knows what he's doing.
They're talking about that in one of the articles that I was looking at too, with like, don't expect. Even Mark McCarthy talked about this. He said, don't expect Diggs and Overshawn and these guys that had really bad injuries to come and all of a sudden be 100%. This is the athlete that we saw before. There are going to be times where the coaches are not going to let them be seen. They're going to say, no, you got to sit down and go ride the bike because we got to try and save you from yourself. These guys are not only fighting for the team, but they're fighting for a spot and a roster spot and millions of dollars, and everybody's counting on them to bring. So they don't have time to be hurt.
And right now it doesn't count. Doesn't count for anything.
Yep.
If Diggs makes 6 interceptions in practice, doesn't count for anything.
Nope.
Until he does it in the game. So you want to be ready to play in the game, not tear yourself up in practices.
Absolutely.
It seemed like we were getting a lot of our players hurt during the week in practice and be like, oh, this guy's out for the game. He got hurt during practice.
Yep.
It's like that for a while, for a good week stretch last year. So I'm like, we need to calm down, tailor it back so we can get hurt in the game instead of practice.
And sometimes it's a blessing in disguise because Diggs might not steal as many snaps in the preseason and in camp and allow our rookie Carson, or a guy that we traded
Exactly. Bring along
for last year. We traded a pick to draft Scott.
Yeah.
That guy might just need snaps. He needs coaching. So
Mhm.
these blessings in disguise of, we know what Diggs has, we know what he is. Sit down and just relax, and maybe help us coach up this kid. And if we ever need him, then we'll
Exactly.
be able to pull him in, because we know what you need. We
Yeah.
know what you have. You know what
It's
I mean?
good to see Scott go against Lamb instead of Diggs against Lamb, or Bland against Lamb. Like seeing Scott, to see somebody as good as Lamb come up, or Brandon Cooks come up, instead of him, trying to guard the undrafted wide receiver
Yeah.
or whatever. Because like if he has to come in and play,
Absolutely.
he's not going to be guarding undrafted wide receivers. He's going to be guarding the number, the top 3 wide receivers the team has. So it's good to see that.
Very much. I believe that wholeheartedly.
What else did we observe?
Yeah,
Anything else
that's
cool?
pretty much it. That was there was hits and a few things they were talking about with, like, Dax Here We Go is back. It's still back. So back in strong as ever. So hey, if he's going to continue the cadence,
you know what, man? That's one of that's one of my greatest contributions to history. I still remember to this day. I was one of the first people that recognized when he was saying that, and I was like, "Is he saying here we go?" I'm like, "Why is he saying?" Because he didn't do it a lot. He did it sometime. Like when he first started doing it, he did it sometimes. And me and Peyton were talking about it in the Discord once. I was like, "Why is he saying here we go?" Man, we even made jokes about it. Like, man, I'm gonna start saying here we go on all kind of different stuff. When I'm about to eat a sandwich, I'm about to make a pizza.
And it was so different too back busy because he wasn't saying it like he said.
It was. It was very timid, and he would just say, "Here we go."
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's saying, "Here." I've never heard of "Here we go." These are here Omaha, things like that. And I was like, that was so strange. And me and Peyton made that joke, and then toward the end of the year, he started doing it in the playoff game. He did it, and it was like he did it. And then the next year, he started doing it all the time. And then people started asking, "What is that?" And I'm like, me and Peyton were on that before everybody. And I felt like a Nostradamus, like I was a insider. I was like, man, so that was my greatest contribution to the football lexicon. We didn't have the podcast yet, so I know y'all won't believe me, but I swear to you it's true.
Please believe me.
Please believe me.
I didn't.
Anyway,
and the last thing.
So one thing I did want to talk about.
Last thing was these guys that we drafted are not walking into starting positions, and we know this because Brock Hoffman and Edoga are still running with the first.
Edoga starting,
yeah. So
the guy be a second.
They need to win those positions, which is 100%. I mean, you don't want to,
Yeah.
And we also saw a glimpse of the running back by committee too. Zeke is the number one fucking leader in that running back room, and for a reason. But
and they shouldn't wear him down either.
But what the way that the practices are running, Dowdle had it. He split those running the first team carries with Zeke almost 50-50. And that's with a small running back room. If we bring somebody else in,
it should be that, and it should be 100%. Like that. But do we still do that thing with the rookies where they don't have a star in their helmet until a certain point?
They don't get a star. They got to earn it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, of course. I
remember Jason Garrett started doing that. I don't know if he still did it.
Yeah, we do that. It's a tradition. Definitely, just like winning your stripe in a couple of college teams. Speaking of college football, can't wait.
Man,
can't wait.
It's getting close. It's getting close. All we gotta do is get through June. If we can get through June, then everything's back to normal. Everything starts. It's all sports is all downhill. The NBA playoffs are getting me through June, but we'll speak about that later too, because that's another Dallas team we got to talk about. Right. Anyway, so one thing I did want to discuss was, last week we broke down the schedule. We gave our predictions. Who we think we're going to win, and so I had identified it as well, but Blogging the Boys made a write-up about it, which I was like, good. And I feel smart because, we're talking about the same stuff, but they had a 5-game stretch. And I said that this 5-game stretch was going to make or break this team. Either we're going to come out worse or better after this 5-game stretch, assuming, health and everything. Mm-hmm. But it starts week 6 against the Detroit Lions. They're going to be pissed because they think we stole the game, even though they tried to play games with the referee and lost. And then even playing that game, they still had like 4 chances at that 2-point conversion to win, and they didn't get it several times. So it wasn't like, they had that one chance and lost it, and they never got another chance.
Mhm.
But they're going to be
Maybe pissed.
really hyped for that game. But the good thing is it's at home, at our home, so we're good with that. Jared Goff just got paid. And that's one thing we got to pay attention to. With contracts, because everybody's up in arms about how much Dak wants to get paid. Every time a quarterback gets paid, he becomes the new highest paid person, whatever. Like, for instance, when Hurts got his, he got his in the summertime,
Mhm.
and he was the highest paid by, like, say, middle of the season,
like-
end of that season, he was like the 5th
It was like
highest.
boom, boom, boom. Like Russell Wilson
Yeah.
got it, and then
Yep.
the little
By the end of that year, he
little
was like the
junior high
5th highest
quarterback
paid.
for the Cardinals. What was that kid's name?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then like Watson, like all those.
Tiny Murray. Yep.
It's just like we kept hearing all these contracts were like 200 what, 250 what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it lasts. And then if you sign another quarterback the next day, you automatically become the second, because they always use that. Like, you always want to be known as the highest.
I saw a figure today that said in 29, Jalen Hurts' cap figure right now is $96 million.
It's crazy. Yeah.
$96 million.
So, man, and I don't see him getting too much better than what he is. Like, if he was getting much better, I'd be like, you know what? I mean, I can stomach that. But to me, it's like he is who he is right now. Like, he's not getting too much, unless some quarterback guru comes in and cleans him up.
This Eagles fan on BR was talking when somebody said something about that, and I was like, wow, I can't believe that. He's like, yeah, but the cap by that time is going to be so high. I'm like, are you serious? It's like is what
it's not gonna be that much higher.
You're getting sold a credit card by those guys in the middle of the mall. They're saying, "Hey, don't worry about it. Your first payment, you don't have to worry about the first payment for 45 days. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, just pay the interest. You'll be all right.
Crazy talk.
Anyway, so after that Detroit game is our bye week, week 7, which I hate because we have 6 games. And then we have a bye week, and then we have 11 games. I'm like, it's not even kind of even. Like 6 games, then 11 games in a row. But anyway, but after that bye week, it's the big, bad monster, San Francisco 49ers, which I penciled us in for a win with that one, only because it's like in those movies where they're facing certain death, and it's like, there's no way we're going to get out of this. And then some random actor always asks the star, it's like, man, you think we're going to make it? It's like, yeah, we're going to make it. Like, why do you think so? It's like, because we have to, man. Or if we don't make it, we're going to die. So it's like one of those things where, in this case,
you can't lose.
Do you think we're going to beat the 49ers?
Yeah.
Man, only because we literally have to beat them. And it's in San Francisco.
That's me on the roulette table. When I get there, I'm looking at the fucking board, and I'm like, dude, it hit black 13 times in a row. It has to hit red right here. It has to hit red. There's no, I mean, it has to hit red. If it hits black, I'm done. But
yeah, so we have to win that game. So I think we'll split either one of those. We'll lose to either Detroit or lose to either San Francisco.
Okay.
And then Atlanta is after San Francisco. And I'm only nervous for them because San Francisco usually beats the hell out of the team they played a week before.
Or that's a trap game too,
because they're very physical.
You're focusing on San Francisco and the Eagles sandwiching an Atlanta game where you're like,
exactly, because
we're getting ready for this game and that game. So let's get through Atlanta.
Yeah, your mind's on San Francisco, and then you're probably looking at Atlanta from last year, like, oh, they're a cakewalk. We can
they're beating the drums too. They're like, Dallas is coming here. Let's do this.
Man, they're ready. Yeah. Teams get up for us. I don't care what anybody says. Teams played their best against us, and then they'll go lose to some random mediocre team the next week by 25.
Lose to Lafayette.
Play us close or beat us.
Lafayette State. Yeah.
Makes me so mad. So after Atlanta, we're at Philly, but that's at home. So I think we got that because we're at home. We always handle Philly at home. We're a very strong team, and I think we were undefeated last year at home. All of our losses came on the road. I had to check that stat, but I'm pretty sure. And then I'm ready, and that'll be our first game testing out their new corners they got. The highly ranked one from
Toledo,
wherever it was, Cincinnati, Toledo. Yeah, that guy, and then the great white height first white cornerback
I think he's going to
drafted.
play safety. He's
That
going to
guy.
play safety in the NFL. We'll see. They have
We'll
Darius
see.
Slay.
But
They
that
got
guy.
Slay. They got they got
Bradbury's still in there.
Bradbury. They got a good team at the backfield now. But fuck the Eagles.
Man, forget those guys. And then it's the granddaddy of them all, the Texas supremacy.
Oh,
Whoever wins this one gets to say we're the best in Texas at Houston Texans.
I love the fact, and I don't live in Texas, so I don't know I don't got people shoulder checking me when I'm wearing Cowboys gear and stuff now, and so I don't know how it is out there. But these
It's nothing.
motherfuckers are still eating at the kids' table at the family party. They're
about
not
to say,
ready for us yet.
Houston
bro.
wants to. Houston wants to be on the same level as the Cowboys, but they're not even close. It's like, you're 12 years old, you try to, and you think, man, my uncle's like 37
Cowboys-
years old. He's old. I can take him.
Cowboys will say,
And then
put your wallet
as-
away. Don't ever bring your wallet out at
Yeah.
dinner again, Houston.
I'm like, man,
Houston,
you don't sit down somewhere. But
No, I get you though.
now, with that being said, I am very excited to see him. I like Houston as a team. Like if Cowboys weren't my team, I would be focused on
It
Houston.
seems
I'm
like a lot of
watching
people,
them.
a lot
like
of Dallas Cowboy fans are kind of gravitating towards that and saying, if it wasn't this, I would be a fan of them. A lot of people are saying that. So it's
yeah, I wouldn't be like a diehard fan of theirs, but that's one team I'd like look and be like, Houston Texas are playing. Let me put that on the big TV and watch the Red Zone on iPad. But overall, those 5 games, starting with Detroit. So Detroit, the bye week, San Francisco, Atlanta, Philly, and Houston. Those 5 games, I think, are make or break. We need to go 3-2 or 4-1.
well, check it out.
That is favorable.
This is what you were just talking about, right? So you're talking about these games right here: Detroit, San Francisco, Atlanta, and then that sandwich right here, and then the
Mhm.
finale right here. Do you think we're going to win this game or not? What'd you say? Win?
I said, and you know what? I say Philly, Houston, and Atlanta are the wins that I'm confident in. And I could
And we're
see
gonna
us
split
losing to
this?
Detroit, but I think we'll win that because we're at home, and I could see us losing to San Francisco. I just feel like we have to win. And it's a nighttime NBC. Chris Collinsworth's going to be on there. Yeah, Al, this Brock Purdy, he's a football player. He's a football
When
player.
Al Michaels is just like he didn't give a f about nothing anymore. They're like, we got to get Al Michaels through his contract because he doesn't care about football no more.
Oh, man. Like, I'm 100% sure he's in there with a flask of drinking while he's working with
He's like, what quarter is
Chris
this?
Collinsworth.
But hey, I pulled this up because I agree with you. This stretch right here is going to be pretty tough, and I think we talked about it last week where I felt that I think what we said this week right here we'd be at 7-3. We got it a little bit different, but we got to the same spot. But we're going to be so beat up after this stretch right here with San Francisco, the Eagles, and the Texans that week 12, week 13 I believe is going to be the week that we lose a coach if we're at a split.
One of those weeks, either Washington.
If we've lost,
you should have had the bye after Houston.
I wish, man. If we could ever get a second half bye, it would be We've always had buys up here. I think it's because of our Thanksgiving games and everything that we require.
Man, we have three Sunday night games: Pittsburgh, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay.
And
then we have 2 Monday night games.
These NFC East games right here, week 12 and 13, are probably going to be the most physical games that we play. That we've been beat up. We're going to be bruised and tired and shit because from the other teams. But these 2 games, they're going to beat us up physically because these are NFC East games are always tough. I don't care if you're playing a team that hasn't won a game yet this year. You're playing the NFC East team, and it's going to be competitive. Man. You know what I mean? So these 2 games, I think, are
kind of suck
going to set our season right here, week 12 or 13. If we I think if we sweep these 2 weeks right here, we're sliding into the playoffs.
Man. And I'm looking at this compared to last year. Last year we had a good stretch where we had like maybe 3 or 4 games, especially at the beginning of the season where we had the Giants, then we had
We
the
had
Jets, then we had Carolina. We had a nice opening, like playing like how college football, man, they play Bob
Appalachian
University
State.
or
Yeah,
Tennessee Tech.
we had
Yeah.
this right here.
We don't have any
We
of that
had
this
this
year.
at the end. That was the Miami, Buffalo. That was that. Oh my God!
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
kidding
we had
me?
our bad stretch at the very end.
At the very end of the season, you guys are dicks. But yeah, I think our
At least we got it like kind of in the middle of the
Yeah,
season now, so we have a chance to
Yep.
rebound.
it all starts with Cleveland.
But I think we're gonna be all right. Yeah, we're gonna be all right.
No, but I agree.
All right, so we'll pay attention to those 5 games. We'll check back in, put a pin in that.
Hit it.
But so assuming I saw this article they had about Dak talking about playing football, and he was talking about how he doesn't play
Yep.
for money. He plays for his love of the game. You believe that?
I think he does, but I'm going to give you a reason why. I think it's a lot easier to say that when that Campbell Soup money's coming in.
Exactly.
But-
yeah. That sleep number
Yeah,
bed money.
But also, he might be just that kind of person that, I grew up with kids like that were well off, but they didn't give a fuck,
Mhm.
and they were just
Yeah.
like me. I mean, and they were just as loyal, and they would be there in a heartbeat for you. I mean, that's how Dak feels to me. So, like to be the guy that's not, bragging about the money that he has, and look at, I just
Mhm.
think that he's just that kind of guy, and so I agree with what he said. It made sense, and when you brought it up, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, 100%. What do you think?
And that's me. I can believe it only because that's how I was when I played basketball. I would play basketball for free. If I could make the NBA, I'd play for free. It's like, now, don't get me wrong. Dennis Rodman said this best. If you watch the documentary they had, he said, "Oh, I'll play for free. It's all the other bullshit y'all had to pay me for, like having to do all the
Yeah.
interviews and messing with fans." He's like, "That's what I want to get paid for." Now, playing basketball on the court when I'm playing, I'll do that for free all day. But the other stuff, I'll gladly take the money for. And I think that's how a lot of stars feel. Now, you get the ones like Charles Barkley. After Charles Barkley left the NBA, he never played basketball a day in his life. Like, I don't think Charles Barkley actually liked playing basketball. I think he's one of those things where he felt, I'm good at this. I want to make a lot of money, and this will pay me a lot of money to do it. So he was good. He wanted to be good. He had the drive to be good,
Mhm.
so he can get paid a lot of money. But like playing basketball wasn't a joy for him. It was like like some people just go to be an accountant. Like it's a job for him. I'm good at it. I can do it. I get paid, good, and so I do it. And so I think that's. And then some players are like that. And then some players are just maniacs, like Jordan or Brady, who would literally play for free. Even if they didn't pay him, they would still get out there and play their hardest. Kobe Bryant. And to me, I think Dak leans more toward that type of player, to where he's glad he gets paid. He's not going to turn down the money. He's going to want to get as much money as possible because he knows, shoot, if I'm putting my body on the line, I better get compensated. But if, like, say they would say, you know what, there's no injuries, no pain, no CTE, he would gladly play this game for free. And that's how it would be with basketball. So that's what I think he's.
And another thing that, while you're talking, what brought another thing that brought up to me is that I think he knows his worth, right? And not a lot of people can live by that, and a lot of people kind of live outside their means, and they really are proud of it. Like, oh, look at what I got, look at what, but they don't. But they're hiding how much they're struggling.
Antonio Brown.
Oh,
when they dropped an article today, he filed bankruptcy today.
It was
That's
like
crazy.
30
as much money as he
like
made.
30 people money, like 30 companies.
Yeah,
crazy.
And he made close to $100 million over his career, whatever he made.
He owned a football team a couple months ago, and he couldn't pay their salaries, so they all quit in the middle of the season. You remember that?
It's just insane how players go broke because they because they're so like from that documentary broke. They just feel, oh, I got other, I made this much money this year. I got
You also
another one
got
coming next year. And then Antonio Brown never in a million years thought that the last year he played was going to be his last year in the NFL. So that's why he probably was living like that. He's like, I got another 5-6 years of making $10 to $18 million a year. And he just never played again.
You also got to think of, who you surround yourself by. All everybody that's got their hand out. Yeah. Plus, nowadays, now we keep seeing these freaking parents that are really screwing their kids. Really screwing.
Tyron Smith tried to do it. So I remember one article I read about J.J.
Watt. Right
Watt.
Now, there's one.
Like 8 or 9 years. Yeah, 8 or 9 years into his career, he said, I haven't spent a dime of my contract money. All I ever live off is my endorsements. Like he just lived off his endorsements money, and he never touched his contract money. So by the time he retired, he's still multi-millionaire. He probably has $50-60 million working for him, where he doesn't have to work. He can just do it. There's one that's playing, but most people don't.
There's something that's playing out in the media right this second. It's the that cornerback that left the Buffaloes, Colorado, University of Colorado. He was the number one.
Oh, yeah.
He was the number one ranked athlete, the player in the whole country, and he left it, and his mom's like, nope, we're leaving, and I think that his mom is I'm not saying it's because of his mom. It could be any parent, but she's taking on that manager role, and that stage parent. No, I'm going to benefit off this too because we both have been struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why you got to have a team.
You have to hire somebody that has no fucking benefit from it for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's not going to screw you in the back end. Plus, you got to go to school. You got to learn finance. You can't just hand your finances over to somebody they take care of me, because someone's going to take care of themselves.
That's what happened to Tim. Yeah, that's what happened to Tim Duncan. He ended up suing his guy because he stole $30 million from him because he just signed over everything.
To Jordan.
I'm like, man, that's crazy.
I mean, somebody screwed Jordan too. Yeah, I mean, everybody gets screwed like that. You just got to. It's hard.
Yeah, and when you have that much money, it's like you gotta trust somebody. And
another thing.
They're not gonna know, and then they get greedy and we're like, well, I stole $1 million from him last year. He didn't say anything. Let's try $3 million this year. And by the end of the 6-7 years, it's like $20 million's disappeared, and I'm like, oh shoot, now I'm in too deep. He's gonna know there's $20 million missing.
I mean, and then you go back and then look at this the picture from the Dodgers. That is it really truthful that his interpreter had that much access to his funds?
Man, that's insane. They just give access to their funds to so many people. It's like I wanted it to be where you have access to it, so I can give you permission, but you can't do anything unless somebody goes through a vetting
calls me twice. They call me once, and they get that story. They hang up, and then they call me right back with the same. They get the same answer, or some crazy shit. Verify that shit with me first. So I guarantee.
That's what they tell people who win the lottery. That's like, hey, get you a financial planner and make them the bad guy. So anytime your third cousin comes like, hey man, I got this great plan to start an Olympic alpaca team of nothing but of genetically engineered alpacas that can create wool or whatever. You're like, you know what? Go talk to my business manager. Get a business plan. Go talk to him. He approves all my stuff. And then they know, hey, I can't trick him because he's not going to be an idiot and do it off emotion. He's going to really look at it and be like, this is the dumbest thing I've heard. And so that's what they tell you to do. And athletes should do the same thing.
But then it's also hard to say no to people that you grew up with that were in the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially if those
were your boys
really helped you to get. Yeah, who really helped you to get. Like,
the whole time.
They were there the whole time.
They were right there with you the whole time saying, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. We're going to do it. Like LeBron's boys, right?
Yep. Yeah, and he took care of them. He gave them all jobs. He fired all the professionals once he felt they were ready, and he hired them in their spot. And I mean, it's working. He's like a billionaire athlete right now. So, anyway, but I think that's all we got this week. We'll see what's going on next week at OTAs. Maybe Lamb will be in the building.
Parsons was in the building. That's so you guys know.
He might not be on the field.
He was there on Friday.
Oh, he wasn't
there? Asked, okay. I mean, that's the stuff is like, I actually got to talk to today. What was exciting? I got to talk to Tuck and Eddie O, Ochoa, and everybody. That they had that, I got to be kind of a speaker on that podcast today. And I talked to him about it. I'm like, He's like, it's the things that you don't hear, right? It's like Micah was in the building on Friday, and he talked to McCarthy and said, "Hey, can I go? Can I go see this? Can I go do this?" And McCarthy's like, "Yeah, get out of here. You go do it. He'll have permission to do these things." And all we hear is Micah's not here, and Micah's not. And
I want to say, but that's not sexy. ESPN is, and ESPN will know this 100%. Know that he's been given permission, but you know what they'll put? Micah Parsons conspicuously absent from OTAs. Is there
what's funny is that we called this a long time ago, but when Justin Tuck was talking about, he said, when I was on First Take or whatever show that is with Shady McCoy and Joey Taylor, he said when I was on that as a guest, the first thing on the board when you walk in, it says Dallas Cowboy news, good or bad, and it's circled bad. And he's like, yeah, that's how you start your show off every day, by the moneymaker. Yeah, it doesn't pay to fucking talk about the Cowboys and stuff or leave them out. Even I said especially, like, think about like Rashee Rice. This whole story had nothing to do with the Cowboys whatsoever. But nothing. Every time it happened in Dallas, but every time that it was came, they're like, Rashee Rice of Frisco, Texas, where exactly. Near the Dallas Cowboys,
near the star.
They just got to throw those little things in so that those keywords match in search. That's all it is.
The one I hate is when a player played for us once. Like, say he had a 10-year career and he played for 5 teams. They'll always say former Dallas Cowboy, blah blah blah. He might have played 6 games for us and like 8 years for one team, but they're like former Dallas Cowboy, this person. I'm like, I don't even remember him playing for us, but he technically played. So that's type of stuff that they'll do. Or when or last year, the number one thing that drove me insane was when they were tracking Dak's interceptions during practice. And so that didn't bother me. What bothered me was the next day on First Take of like Stephen A. Smith. That was the top thing that they were talking about. Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions to Trevon Diggs, and is that Dak back again? Is this? And I'm like, that is not new. This is practice. That's when it's supposed to. Like, that's like saying Steph Curry missed 3 threes in practice the other day. I'm like, that is not news whatsoever.
It is when when you crave that. Like, you just want someone to fail so bad that you will. It's almost like a when you go test drive a car for the first time. You never drove. Go test drive a Mustang. Then you go home.
Oh man, that sounds like
all fun. You see is fucking Mustangs everywhere. Right, and you're like, well, I never noticed that everybody and their mother has a Mustang. But like, that's what it is. If we go looking for it, you're going to find it, and that's all these guys are doing is they're looking for
exactly.
Things. But there's one last,
and they just make other people hate us because they're like, we're tired of hearing about the Cowboys. Like, I promise you, Cowboys fans are tired of hearing about them too. We don't want to be in the news. We don't want to lead up.
Nobody's owner has a microphone shoved in his face every single time he steps through anywhere, and whatever. But one last thing before we get done was that on the same lines as this, I know that a lot of Cowboy fans are fans of the local teams, right?
Oh yeah, that's a big news story down here right now.
That everybody's got their feelings hurt that the Mavericks and the Stars and the Rangers have all been to the conference championship at least in the last year.
Yeah, or the championship, like the Rangers actually won it all. Yeah,
and then everybody's like, Dallas Cowboys, you guys haven't been there for 28 years, and blah blah blah. If I don't know how you feel about it, and I want to hear what you feel about it before I even go into my dumb, stupid rant. But please tell me how you feel about these, because you're a Dallas boy.
Me personally,
you're a Texas boy.
Yeah, so me personally, I can understand the frustration, especially for the ones like us who were there when they won those 3 Super Bowls. I can understand the frustration because it's like, you've done it before. You know what? And we had the same owner. So it's not like, this is our 3rd owner since then and they don't know what it took from back then. We're the same owner. And so it's like, I get the frustration, but you always got to remember only one team wins. And for a while, it's only one team was winning. It's not like almost everyone's won a Super Bowl except us. It's like the same 6 or 7 teams has won a Super Bowl since we've won one. So it's not like, so many teams are winning and we're not. is really hard to do. So would I like to see us win? Of course. But I'm glad. But for the longest time, Dallas sucked. For the longest time, they did. The Stars were all right. They were, ebbs and flows. That they were good. They were bad. The Mavericks, once they won that championship with Dirk, they never were getting back. When they went to one, the Rangers went. The Rangers went to a bunch of them. So they were the only ones that's kind of matching with the success of the early
Did they
Cowboys.
really?
So
They only
it's just
only have
their
one.
time. Yeah, because they went a couple times where they lost in
When?
the World
When was
Series.
this? Who?
The Rangers did. It was a few years
Okay,
ago. I
so-
can't remember.
I mean, it's
The
not
Rangers.
more than 5. I mean, you can count them on your hand. The amount of times the Rangers have been there. It's not like the Cowboys have been to the conference championship like 13 fucking times. You know what I mean? So if we really want to backtrack that, it's just crazy talk to me that people want to say, and the only thing that what you said that I don't agree with is I feel like the people that saw these championships are the ones that are like, would you shut your fucking baby asses up? You know what I mean? Like some of the I think it's the
Yes.
younger guys that are never saw that they're like, dude, I would do
Yeah.
anything. Trade the team for everything, and just give me one fucking championship before I get. I've been a fan
Yeah.
for like 20 years, and I haven't seen one time where you guys even sniffed it. And I can understand that, but still, shut up. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's not. You can't compare Jordan and LeBron. I mean, you can't compare.
can't.
You can't compare the
different
Cowboys'
eras.
success to what everybody else is seeing right now, because it's just not. Because back in the day,
Yeah.
they would have been like, "Who are you guys at?"
2010, yeah. 2010 and 2011. That's when they went to back-to-back
Who did
World
lose?
Series and lost both
I remember.
times.
Oh, I remember the
Giants
Giants
and
one.
the Cardinals.
The Giants was a Barry
first-
Bonds just went off on that in
Yeah.
that series.
Yeah, he just went crazy. And then the next year they made it back again, and then they lost to the Cardinals, and then they didn't make it again until last year when they beat.
Was that
Diamondbacks.
McGuire Cardinals back then? That's crazy.
You know what? I don't know. 2011. I bet that was.
But I mean, that's I'm happy. I as a fan, if you were a fan growing up in the Dallas area, in the metro area, just be happy that you have the success with the teams that you're fans of, and don't come down on the team that's it's been a little while, because for a very long time we were the upper echelon, what teams wanted to be. We were the blueprint, and
Yeah.
the amount of championships and trophies that we have we have more championships than all 3 of the other teams put together. So
Nah, they had Pujols
okay.
on that team. So it wasn't McGuire. He was already gone by then. This is a Pujols team. Anyway. But they don't. It's all right. We'll bounce back.
Yeah.
I gotta believe we'll win one time before I die.
I think
God have a deal.
we're right there. It just takes a
We're due, man.
it
We're
just
due.
takes a run, right? I mean, the 49ers were not
Yeah.
good at all until they made that CMC trade, and it just turned their whole franchise
Yeah.
around.
They just turn it around.
And then, so like even Shanahan, we talk about the Shanahan tree. If they didn't do that, is there a Shanahan tree that we're even talking about? You know what I mean?
And then even then, he hasn't won anything. He hadn't won a Super Bowl.
Anything can happen.
So if holding somebody to they always say, "Well, when's the last time y'all won a Super Bowl?"
Your mom.
So then we always go, "Well, when's the last time San Francisco won a Super Bowl?" Well, at least they went to. So now you're moving the goalposts. At first, it was how many Super Bowls you won. Now, since I name a team that you like, that you think is good, hasn't won one. Oh, now it's that. Oh, at least they've been to one, or they've been to the NFC Championship game. I'm like,
I've shut
Well,
so
you
many
need to pick
people
a-
down
pick a thing.
with the
pick a thing you gotta
participation
use.
ribbon that I say. I don't even say trophy anymore.
Yeah,
I always tell them, I go, "Oh, that participation ribbon that you guys tie on your fucking neck every day and wear proudly that you were in the Super Bowl last year." Shut up.
every Super Bowl Shanahan's been a part of, they were up by double
No way.
digits and
No way.
lost every single one. whether he was the coach or the
The
OC.
Falcons.
The worst one was the 28-3 one. Yeah, and so it's like I would rather not go than to go and lose every single time I've been there, and not just lose, but spectacularly.
Were you watching
lose.
that?
I'm talking about, man, a
Were you watching
double-digit
that
lead in the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl.
like,
It's crazy.
A lot, like the whole time.
The
Yeah,
the
because that's
28-3
the
one.
Super
Yes,
Bowl
I
where I
was.
was like, I
Yeah,
was
I
drinking a
watched the
little
whole thing.
bit, and I was watching this, and then I was hanging out with my kids and like figuring stuff out, and something happened, and I came back and I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
No, I was watching. I watched the whole thing, and when Julio Jones made a big
So when
catch down the
he
sideline
mossed
for
him?
like 30 yards, and I was like, yeah, and it was like finally, like they found because they hadn't done anything. Once they got up 23, at that point they just went into a dark spiral, and that one play to Julio Jones was the big play, and it happened. I was like, oh, good,
Yeah.
now they're gonna win, and they still lost, and I'm like, oh man, he's a good front runner. And I like Shanahan. I don't want to talk bad about him like I hate him. I just hate the team in general. But him as a coach, I like him. I like his innovation. But in reality, he still hadn't won a Super Bowl yet. So it's like, to me, McCarthy's better than him. At least McCarthy's been there and won. Shanahan hadn't won yet. So it's like, do what you want with that information. But anyway, we can go on a rant all day. I don't want to do it because it's time for me to go to bed. The Mavs are on right now against the Timberwolves. I got to go watch that. Game 1, Western Conference Finals. So let's go see what's going on. It started about 30 minutes ago, but I'm here talking to you guys because I love you guys so much. Even though basketball is my first love, football is my side chick. Basketball is my first love. So I'm about to go spend time with my wife. Basketball.
There's that matchup with Luka and what's his name is going to be
Anthony Edwards. Whew, man, Anthony Edwards is legit.
When he told
he's one of my favorite players right now.
Barkley, get your ass or whatever he said the other day. I mean,
yeah.
Did you see
that the whole slogan?
That website was bought and purchased, and it's redirected to the.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It is.
Well, that's good marketing.
Man, what's that movie? He has a movie out with Anthony Edwards. It's a basketball movie with Hustle. It's called Hustle, and it's got Adam Sandler in it. And it's a bunch of NBA players in it. Really good. Anthony Edwards.
He plays the kid.
Like you know how normal. He plays because like the star. Yeah, because the star of the movie is a real NBA player, but he's a fictional character. Then all the NBA players are fictional characters, but there's a lot of famous people in the movie. And normally when athletes get in movies, they're only there for the star part, like name recognition. But Anthony Edwards is excellent in this movie. He plays his part so well.
Oh no, that was a really good fucking part. I love it. So some athletes,
it's a good movie. I love
when they hit the movies. They are stars. It's crazy. Like it's like, oh man, this could have been you could have been a fucking movie star. You know what I mean?
People love the movie Space Jam, the first one. But Michael Jordan was terrible in that movie. I don't care what anybody says. He was terrible he could not act. But of course, that's Michael Jordan, most famous person on the planet, so it made the movie.
Another guy that I don't think was a very good actor and kind of just the actors around him kind of pulled him through was Ray Allen. He was bad, bro, but Denzel was fucking money.
He had some big names. He had some big names carrying him, so he could get away with it. But he was bad in that movie too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's all we got. So y'all, take it easy. And we'll try again next week. Hopefully, there'll be some more news that we can share with you guys, and we'll talk about it, break it down. Maybe the Mavericks will be in the conference final. Nah, the series wouldn't be done by next week. It'd be about a week and a half before the series is done, but we'll talk about it. So y'all be cool, Eddie.
DC for life. I'm gonna get a DC for life tattoo. I told you guys that the other day. I'll show it to you guys, but I'm gonna.
You said that. Get it.
DC for life. This always hug and kiss your kids and your family. Don't go to bed angry. It's not worth it. We love you. We'll see you next week.
That's true. Here we go. It's back. Here we go. So maybe see y'all next week. So I holla.
got me feeling like Micah. I've been known to wear the team on my back like a biker. Shorty want me with a star, but you lucky if I invite you. We can take it to the next spot. They yelling like Prescott. Everybody like, there ain't no breaks, no rest stop. We tryna get your head chopped. The whole club yelling. Everybody.